Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is André Barbosa. I'm the president of Wikimedia Portugal, an association of volunteer and enthusiasts about Wikimedia platforms and open knowledge. I would like to start by saying a huge thanks to Ricardo for the invitation, because there is something very important to mention here. Most of you are developers and content platform creators that we will use in our platforms to get the information, to get the references. So we are all parts of the same world. And that's a little bit of what I'm going to talk here. I've cut some of the slides so that we can go have lunch sooner. But I will be here during the events, and we will have lots of time to talk a little bit more. I will start by introducing two concepts, the Wikimedia concept and the open data concept itself. Starting with open data, open data, it's all that data that it's openly accessible, exploitable, and editable. Which means that it's the data that you can use whatever you want, transform it, give it a new shape, without any restrictions. Uh, every open data is licensed under an open license. For example, you all know Wikipedia. You can do whatever you want with the text. The only thing that you have to do is to mention that that's part of Wikipedia. For example, you can create a site, and there are many sites which reuse Wikipedia content. You can create, for example, touristic guiding tours using that information, precisely because of this open data question. Linked open data. This is a more straightforward way of using this open data. Basically, it's when we have data in a structured way and connected each other. For example, around us there's a lot of streets. Each street has a name. Each street it's already, for example, in OpenStreetMap, which has an open license. Okay, that's an open data database. But if you link the names of those streets to, for example, the Wikipedia articles, for example, Rua Manuel Botelho, to the Manuel Botelho article itself, now you have linked open data. Basically, this means that all the data that we can get, it's linked each other. We have, this is one of the most known charts around this. I think it's probably one of the most important slides that I will show here, which is the linked open data model. It's basically a model, a 5-star model, categorizing the way as data is presented and its reuse. In the first level, the ground level, we have the one-star linked open data. That's when you have data that you can publish it, whatever format. You don't have the time nor the resources to do anything, just publish a PDF, okay? That's fine. So in the second level, we have the 2-star model, which is make it available as a structured data. Let's say, for example, that you had a scan of a table, but you can add that information in an Excel file, for example. That's better than star one. There could be better, but sometimes we all have to make choices, and perfection cannot stop us from doing the good things. So we have another step, the 3-star step, which is make that information available in open source formats. For example, CSV instead of Excel. Just a quick example. I do a lot of data extraction and manipulation to use it on Wikipedia and in some of our projects. And this is a case where, for me and for many of the people who collaborate with me, it's very important, because if we have information, whatever its kind, in a proprietary format, it will be harder for us to treat it. So if we have two sites with the same license, the same content, but one is based on open standards and open formats, we will choose that one instead. Almost in the top, we have the four-star system, which is to use URIs to denote things. You know, basically, instead of saying we have a PDF in that site, there is a direct URL to that information. This is a point where it's very important. Mostly, for example, we work with scientific researchers who create their websites. You know, they've made science, they have data, they want to publish. One single factor is very important. For example, instead of having a canonical URL with words and letters, if there is a permanent identifier easily used in the URL, that makes the huge difference. And it was one of the examples we saw last year in one of our events, for example, and it was using Drupal. A researcher has a huge database and is making publicly available. But for each term of the database, he was using words instead of a permanent identifier. By doing that, by not using a permanent identifier, that database, for example, couldn't be included in a reference system, you know, because the rule could change. There was no direct path between the name and that identifier. That's probably one of the biggest points that when some of you are working with this type of works may have in count. The 5-star is basically to link your data to other data to provide content. This means that, for example, in the case of researchers, instead of the data is only available in that project, okay, it's linked to other. I will show you one of Wikimedia projects, for example, Wikidata, that its main advantage, it's basically that. It's the biggest repository of structured data in the world. When we speak about artificial intelligence, for example, they go to get the data from Wikidata. You know, many of the Googles all go grab the data from those sites precisely because of this. You know. So what about Wikimedia? Wikimedia is a global movement which are trying to collect all the knowledge in the world, put in several projects accessible for everyone, not just to read. You know, the Wikipedia project is the most new, but we have lots of other programs, including Wikidata, for example, with high machine readability. But the mission is to grab all the knowledge, join and share it around the world. This is made in project, and I've marked in yellow one of the key aspects of our project. All our projects are made mostly by volunteers, and our motto is, you've made it, it's yours to use for free. So in terms of when you are building a website, you can use and reuse our content. So this is some of our projects. I will just mention 3 of them: the Wikipedia, the Wikimedia Commons, which is our multimedia files repository, and Wikidata, the structured data repository. So everyone knows Wikipedia, right? Everyone has ever copied anything from it, you know, stuff like that. But for example, its story, it's very interesting, you know. Basically, Wikipedia started not as a main project, but as a side project of Nupedia, which was created in 2000 by Larry Singer and Jimmy Wales. And they were trying to make a peer review encyclopedia. It had 7 steps approval process, but the main goal was to have an encyclopedia with open access and open licenses. But they had a problem, you know. Basically, in the first year, they got only 21 articles approved. So they tried to speed up the process. That's where Wikipedia came from. Back in 2001, they've decided to create Wikipedia open to everyone as a side project. So all volunteers will build articles in Wikipedia. Once an article was more completed or in a more advanced stage, it would be incorporated in Nupedia. So they will use a less bureaucratic structure and a wiki system of edition so that could speed things. But what happened? And this is the point where the magic happens. In the first year of Nupedia, Nupedia had 21 articles approved. Okay? In the first year of Wikipedia, there was 1,800 articles. Only in the first month of Wikipedia, there were produced 200 articles. Okay? So the next slide speaks by itself. That's why no one ever hears about Nupedia, In fact, they closed Nupedia with only 24 approved articles. When people say about Wikipedia and their process, this is, for example, it's one of the reasons why it got so a huge expansion, because it allowed the normal people to contribute to the creation of knowledge. Today, we all know Wikipedia. I won't be reading the numbers. They're astronomical. It's one of the biggest sites of the world, the most consumed. There are some aspects that many people doesn't know. For example, it has its content in more than 300 languages. I think 329. Many of them small languages. It's now even a minority language protection. I don't know if you ever heard of Mirandese language. It's the second language of Portugal. It's only spoken on 15,000, 20,000 people, okay? But it has a project. Wikimedia Portugal is working with them to use our projects to preserve those languages. And even in Spain, last year we've organized in Porto meeting, which was an Iberian meeting from minority languages, because we have the Catalan Wikipedia, the Basque, the Leonese, the Galician. So this is some kind of the projects that we make. Okay, so the next project I'm about to speak, it's Commons. This is a file repository, a multimedia file repository, for example, that can be used in Drupal because of its license. The main purpose is to provide media files to Wikimedia projects, but it's also used to for example, to some of the things that we do is to grab all the images from monuments, cultural events. It's just not to illustrate articles. It's not very perceptible, but this is one of the collaboration projects that we have here in Portugal. We had a collaboration with the Macau Museum, where basically they took pictures of their spolium, and we've made it available through Wikimedia Commons. This has connection with several projects, because all these images is in our multimedia project, but all the metadata, okay, it's in our Wikidata project. I'm about to speak a little later. This is other of the projects we developed to get more images. We have some contests like Wiki Loves Monuments, which is an annual contest for people to simply take photos of monuments, okay, and upload them on our platforms. These allow us, and not just us, but for example the researchers, to have a huge repository of information of all the monuments all across the world and all across all the years and months and all those variables. For example, one of the projects we are working, starting to work now, is with some researchers which are making a catalog of Portuguese religious buildings in Asia. I think it's India and Bangladesh. Many of them, they only have the coordinates. They're creating a database of those buildings. And we're trying to use one of these contests precisely to invite people to go to those locations and take pictures, okay? So basically this is created using the citizens science. There is also another amazing project from Wikimedia Spain, which is Ningún Municipio Español sin Fotografía. Basically, they are crossing all over Spain in every city and municipality to taking photos, documenting every single municipio in Spain, okay, and uploading to our project. This was the Wikimedia Commons project. Wikidata is probably one of the projects that we have, which is having a very attraction currently because of the AI question. We now work with all of the major world libraries, institutions with high degrees of data, precisely to incorporate in this project. The simple fact, for example, the simple fact of those databases be linked to Wikidata, it opens huge doors to that information. But basically, Wikidata is a free and open knowledge base that can be added and read by both humans and machines, okay? This makes a huge difference. You can, for example, incorporate this data on Drupal websites. One of the things and it could help, for example, for the research institutions, is to have those kind of info boxes that you have in Wikidata articles, for example. Most of that data comes already from Wikidata, okay? For example, one of the problems that researchers have is precisely how to import that data dynamically in every content management system. Basically, we are working with lots of them, but we're trying to use the MediaWiki and Wikibase integration because it's not easy to use it outside of this environment. So this is the basic way how the information is structured in Wikidata. We have for example, here we have Maya Angelou. For Wikidata, what matters is the item identifier. Okay, this is the permanent identifier of this person. The name it's just a label that allows, for example, to have the same name in different languages and different variations. So you can have you can link to this information, and the reader, for example, according to the language he uses, okay, it presents the correct information for that language. Then you have the properties and the value system. This allows to have all this data linked. Okay, for example, she was born in St. Louis, but St. Louis itself, it's not just a name. It's like when I was speaking about the streets names. It's not just about a string. It's not just a string. It's also another object of information. This is what makes all this project interesting and reusable. So I'm just showing some outputs. This is, and for example, I don't have many outputs from Drupal precisely because of that. It's not easy to incorporate this type of data. But for example, this is a project that was developed in Edinburgh University. Basically, they've collected lots of data from the witch hunts there was in the 18th century, 18th and 19th century. They uploaded all this data to Wikidata and then made this information presentation. I'm not sure if you can see it correctly, but basically for this as a zoom in and a zoom out. But basically you can see all the information that there is in the National Archive about the information of these witchcrafts. So I'm almost finishing. So we are on time. One of the things that we really care about, and it might be important for the Drupal community, is to share this data. Okay, our obligation is to collect it, organize it internally, but it's very important for us that external communities, external institutions to reuse it. And we are doing this using some top technology APIs, okay? This is a very stable API, okay, that we have, and providing almost all the information that we can. Basically, almost everything that it's made in our platforms, all the information that can be shared is shared through our REST APIs. Okay, for example, even the page views of our articles and our projects. I try to make a little joy. This is, for example, an example of the API consumption. Basically, it makes the output of all the information that we have in Wikidata. This is more used, for example, in academic researches because it shows the scientific publications, what each researcher is doing. For example, this is a little bit of what was the project of the Portuguese early music database. So basically, we have all this information in the great API, and we're showing it how to use it to the world. This is another tool that we have and that can be easily used to consume the information. This is the Wikidata query service. It's a specific service for reusing that information using Spark language. I don't know if you are familiar with it. So, but basically, it has a lot of examples if you want to explore it. But basically, it's an easier way to explore all this data. And one of the things that Wikimedia Portugal is working hardly in the last year or 2 years is precisely work with the researchers so that they can consume all this information in ways like this. So, and I will finish. Basically, this presentation is just a glance of what we are trying to do, okay, and our future. And I will end up with one of the first questions: what is Wikimedia? This is one of our most known mottos. It's a saying by Jimmy Wales, which says, "Imagine a world in which every single person on the planet is given free access to the sum of all human knowledge." That's what we are doing. Okay? And we also need your help and your expertise to consume the information and to help spreading it to the world. Okay? So I'll end up here. If you have any questions. Okay, so internally, and I think the question is more related to Wikipedia. For example, if you go to Wikipedia, there's a history page, and all the changes that are made are recorded. It's like a version control system, and you can link it precisely to that version. Okay. Through Wikidata, you can do the same thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The other, I think there was another question. Okay. Yeah. Basically, what our importance, order of importance, is the reference of that information. Okay. For example, if you have a PDF and the CS and the CSV with the same information, okay. But for example, the CVF, the PDF is from the United Nations, and the CSV is from someone else. We will prefer the PDF from the United Nations, okay. But that is for referencing the information, because those data can be uploaded to Wikidata, okay. Basically, for example, that in those cases, when we apply to Wikimedia projects, uh, it's more about how helping us to import the information, okay, to our projects, and then putting the link back to the information, okay. For example, when we are helping these researchers building these websites and importing the data, their own project will be used as a reference, okay. So it depends on the type of the file and who's the authority behind it.